Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ryan Eastman coming to you live from Hawaii. Tonight, we're going to get to watch the rookies participate in the Rookie Challenge. It's been about 6 months since we saw the rookies face off against one another in this big kind of group. And joining me in the booth tonight to watch this and commentate is Christopher Whalen. How you doing tonight, Christopher?
I'm doing fantastic after a weekend here in Hawaii. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Definitely a fun destination to head to in the a bit of a cooler month. Not used to being able to go out onto the beach and enjoy nice weather in the middle of February.
Yeah, it's definitely a change from the Northeast. I'll tell you what.
Uh, do we predict potentially in Alaska next year just to offset the wonderful weather we've gotten to experience?
How the commissioner picks the host for All Star Week is kind of a mystery to only him and a select few. So maybe there's a 1 in 23 chance that that'll happen because it's not going back to Hawaii next year, right?
Unfortunately, I don't know. The players may be able to petition for a permanent destination All Star Week, but I don't think the fans would necessarily enjoy that so much. Quite an expensive expedition to head all the way out here to get to watch some of their players show off for them.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Well, tonight we have the East versus the West. Any thoughts between the two teams, completely ignoring your potential bias towards the East?
Well, if we're ignoring my bias, I'd say, um, yeah, my money's still kind of on the East here. They've got a really diverse squad. The a lot of these rookies were in the top 24. They've been doing well all season long. Um, I think it's they're definitely gonna put up a good fight here.
Yeah, I'm going to lean with the West personally myself, and that's just looking at their roster. You have to consider, or I have to at least consider, looking at the teams. A lot of these rookies are coming from rebuilding teams that invested heavily in the draft. Alaska has four rookies here. Oregon has three rookies, and Arizona has two, both in the starting lineup. So between three teams making up the bulk of the rookie challenge group, you have to imagine the chemistry for the West is going to be a bit better than the chemistry in the East, which is a little bit more diverse in who's making up the lineup.
That's very true. You're definitely going to see a lot more synergy in the West here, I think tonight. Especially with Alaska's got two starters. Ravashu and Devin have proven that they can work well together on the court. And with Rav leading the charge here for the West, I think it's gonna be a tight match either way.
I believe so, and we're gonna cut on down to the quarters to see the players heading on to the field of play. The tip-off will go the way of the West. Devin pulling it down, playing around the perimeter is Zuri driving to the paint. The Seal able to get the first bucket here tonight.
Now it'll be interesting to see how these rookies have grown in the last 6 months. I look forward to both this game and the rookie combine every year just to it's a really great litmus test to see kind of how these players have gelled both as individual players and also learning how to play in the FBA.
Yeah, and that's I think the big factor that we get to see actual growth as we Devin's coming down with the block there. Uh, you normally don't get to see the start of a player's career 6 months ago and then get to look almost do a check-in in a very I don't want to call it controlled way because they're a lot of these players were in the top 24, so they have gotten to play together and play against each other. And now we're getting to see how that growth has occurred over the past 6 months in the FBA.
Yeah, although it's not exactly a one-to-one trade-off. There are some players here that definitely weren't in the combine, but still, I mean, I think everyone on the court definitely deserves to be here tonight.
As we see a drive down to the paint, no good from Astrid. Bivens in transition, a quick three is good from the Panda.
Big basket from the big red Panda.
Stretching it out there to be on the arc. Zuri driving to the basket once again, off the glass is good. Second basket for her tonight. See how she matches up with Mandeville, both of them playing together in the rebranded Demons. Aurora dishing over to Bivens again. This time from mid-range is good. That's his 5th point now. The West definitely having a fair bit of shake-up this last off-season with not only 2 teams rebranding / 1 moving, also the redistribution of the divisions.
Well, you know, we got to keep it interesting in the FBA. Some of these rivalries have gone on for quite some time, and I know the fans love that. But, you know, shaking things up just a little bit can bring kind of some new life into some of these old clubs, and I think we've definitely seen that this year.
Mandeville pulling around against Hopkins, good matchup there, and you have to agree. Even though I feel like perhaps the rookies coming into a bit of an unknown because of that. The teams really were trying to weigh out what their new divisions, what their kind of matchups are. Obviously, you're going to play your division rivals more than anyone else. As Hopkins gets the block shot back, but Dukes hits his second block now. But going back to the rookies, they're trying to establish themselves in the league, and their teams are in the process of doing the same thing within their division, trying to feel each other out and see who's really going to be the top dog coming out on top of their division.
Well, and it's interesting to see both the Plains division and the Desert division in such tight groupings. You know, the traditionally you'll see like one division kind of really run away with the pie, as it were. And we still see that a lot in the East, with the Northern Division being so strong compared to some, you know, the other 2 divisions. But I think the redistribution here has definitely changed the makeup a little bit.
Yes, and we saw a big dunk from Dukes, and Marshall answering back with a mid-range jumper. And that's another point about the rookies you could talk about, is the presence of the North Star rookies this year. They made a big run in the FCA tournament last year and had a number of players declare for the draft.
What I really love about like the North Star rookies here is that it's clear that North Star University overhauled their athletics program, and it's interesting to see when you've got several people coming in declaring for the draft from a school that you haven't seen in some times in the standings. You know that someone's doing something right at that school. So.
Yes, and Duke's going to come down with the ball. Number 1 overall pick, drafted to Alaska, showing off a bit here tonight on defense and offense. And an opportunity to clean up. Astrid not able to corral the ball. It's going to be the East coming back on the fast break opportunity, but no good. Dukes cleared the board, but no, he loses it. Marshall going to take advantage of that turnover. Quick basket there from the East.
It's great court awareness there from Tarea.
And Zuri gonna just go ahead and put up a third basket here. 6 points for her so far tonight. Half of the points for the West coming in from the the Ribbon Seal. Hopkins calling for a screen to get a little bit of room, but no, dishing back to Evans, who finds Bivens down low in the post. The Red Panda battling, gets the contact against Qatar. Tried to use his big body to bully the bat, but able to at least draw contact, and we'll head to the line for 2 free throws. Alaska, a team that did a lot of rebuilding this offseason with the draft. And as I mentioned in the pregame, 4 of their rookies, I think that's actually all their rookies, made the challenge here tonight. Obviously, their number 1 overall pick, Devin Dukes, and their other high pick, Qatar, making the starting lineup here. See how their experience playing together can translate over here. Being the point guard in the center definitely has some advantages. Might see some alley-oops, some well-timed picks and pops.
Yeah, to be able to call a play and at least have 1 or 2 of your players on the court, kind of know like the inside scoop about why you're calling that play is certainly an advantage. Although we're not seeing that much of an advantage in the West right now. It's been a very tight game here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and we saw actually Dukes being subbed out, getting a chance to take a little bit of a break. Had been stepping up on defense with a couple big blocks there as we see Astrid laying it up inside the paint, giving the lead back to the West. But a quick play down to the Red Panda, no good. Mandeville will come down with the ball. The Wolf dishing up to Astrid, who takes a 3 from beyond the arc, and that is a clean basket. A 3 coming out from the Sabertooth Tiger.
I mean, all these rookies should know well by now. If you're relying on 1 single individual on the court, your opposition's going to start defending that player, and they've been going to Bivens a lot in this first quarter. So I think the West is definitely caught on.
And we saw Natalie there answering back, able to get the bucket going. And Simi Zuri stepping back, but there you go, talking about adjustment. Bivens was on the seal and able to get the block there. Natalie going to take possession, bring it up into the paint, take the shot herself, but blocked again. Hendricks crowling the loose ball. Fast break opportunity. Mandeville, the dish from the bat is good, and laying it up and in. The Wolf getting another basket here, quick in transition. Now Bivens is going to match up against him, doing a turnaround jumper. Able to convert that, though. That's a very difficult shot to be able to make that far out and turning around.
Red Panda's definitely carrying the East here right now.
Yeah, but we saw, again, some nice little chemistry there as Zuri dishing the ball to Mandeville on the breakaway. The Demons picking up 2 rookies this last off season and throwing them pretty high in the lineup. Chet Mandeville, most of the time starter. Zuri, a high player off the bench, coming in for significant minutes still. Developing talents for the Demons roster. Asher calling for the screen. Spin move into the paint, fading away, able to convert it. Oregon definitely glad to have picked her up in this last draft. She's been a big component of their new look team. Screen call.
Yeah, absolutely. When you've got a move and a rebrand like that, you're really looking for franchise players early on, and she definitely fits the bill.
And she's able to get another basket here. And yeah, talking about the rebrand, obviously moving from Texas to Oregon, kind of sparking the rearrangement of the divisions. But you look at the team itself, Marcus Knight, long-term player for the former Lone Stars. You have to look at his career and wonder how many more years he has left. So picking up a high draft pick like Astrid, trying to commit long-term to a new face of the franchise. As the West will call a timeout. The game very close here, 25-21. Both teams keeping it close.
I think we saw a little bit of that in a couple years ago when Texas tried to draft Brady Lavoie Williams. Didn't quite work out for them, but I think with Victorson, it's a much better situation for everyone.
Well, I mean, they've tried twice now, honestly, because you go back to even Francois Martineau when they drafted him. He left after 2 years to head to, I believe, Edmonton.
That's
Uh,
right.
so, a team that has been able to find some good talent, like their scouting is very good. It's just they need to be able to hold on to the talent they bring in.
Yeah, their retention hasn't been great in former years, and I think there's been a little bit of a change of management on the team lately, and especially with the rebrand and the move, I think just giving the team a fresh start kind of gives upcoming rookies a new perspective to consider with the team.
Yeah, like I said, it's a tough process to rebuild necessarily or get back into a highly competitive situation. So we see the ball lost there, actually tipped out of bounds by the West. It will remain with the East. Clemens. Inbounding to Collins. One of the two Valerio brothers. Dishing it over to Huska, not able to get the ball in. There's going to be a foul called on Patterson, a loose ball foul. I do hope we get to see Bruno and Lorenz both on the court together, fighting against each other. Interesting matchup to see which of the two comes out on top.
Yeah,
Hendricks.
it's definitely battle of the brothers here. Although I don't know. You know me. I'll always be biased for Albany's sake.
I mean, I would expect nothing less. And the and one opportunity goes the way of the West, stretching the lead to 7 now. Trying to dish down low in the post, and ooh, ball stripped, but call foul against Mads. Will inbound the ball, or no, they're going to call it a shooting foul, so that is a 2 free throw opportunity from the charity stripe.
Well, yeah, charity stripe is correct here. I sometimes the refs see something that the camera doesn't, and vice versa. But the East really needs these 2 points to stay in the game here.
Well, some players like to take acting classes. They get trained almost if a contact is drawn, make it seem like you were shooting. Doesn't matter if you weren't even really trying. Just throw the ball up as if you were taking a shot at the time of the foul, just to try and get those free throws. Better come away with something than trying to rely on an inbound. We see a block there, but no, it's going to come up. Bruno stepping in, grabbing the blocked shot. Now shot clock a problem. Gonna just have to take the shot himself. Esmeralda able to get a good defense to Capybara, smothering him as the shot clock winds down. Ooh, a foul called, the pump fake, and Hendricks falls for it and gives contact. First one is good, as is the second, as Maria Davenport comes away with 2 extra points to bring it back within a 4-point game here at the end of the first. Good showing for both teams as the West looked like they were pulling away for a little bit, but the East able to capitalize on some fouling opportunities and chipping away, bringing it back within a 2-possession game. Davenport dishing over to Collins. Alley-oop attempted. Maria is going to come down with it. We saw her at the dunk contest make it through the first round, unable to make it out of the second with a missed dunk, but showing why she was there in participation.
Absolutely. These it's those moments that really show, okay, maybe you've had a bad day at the dunk contest, but if you can really apply it on the court in a live situation like this, it's absolutely proof that she deserved to be there.
Yeah, I mean, the dunk contest is all about, I don't want to say just for fun, but it is really a good time to show off and a little bit of battle of egos, seeing who can one-up one another. We see the
It's very
East
true.
tying it here, 30 apiece. Step back jumper from Mads, no good. Patterson going to come down with the board. East trying to take the first lead they've had in a long while. Clemens dumping over the screen, drive to the basket, dish to Clemens, able to take the lead back for the East here. And the West wants to answer back immediately. Mads just going to drive it in himself. The Bird able to lay it up with the nice finger roll off the wingtip. So, Christopher, looking at the two teams, obviously they're rookies. Who do you think of this group is in the best position looking to the end of the season, talking about Rookie of the Year opportunities?
We talked a little bit about Dukes here this game. I definitely think the the Mustelid has a fair chance. We often don't see Big Furs in that in to win that award. But I think Dukes definitely has enough skill and enough charisma that they're definitely a contender for that.
Yeah, and that's the challenging part. Do you consider, without fail, every Rookie of the Year has been a starter. I mean, last year we did see a big finally take home the prize in Xavier Clark. The last previous time that had happened was Eric Toivonen back in 2017. But you have, a prerequisite almost is you have to be a heavy time starter. So definitely Devin Dukes comes to mind. You look over with the rest of the starting lineup, he was pretty much everyone except Zuri on the West starting side has been a starter this year. For the East, a little bit more of a mixed bag. Obviously, Hopkins and Blake have been starters, and Bivens has come in off the bench a fair bit as well. But most of his time has been coming off the bench as like a sixth fur. So you kind of wonder, how much of an impact playing time is going to have on players that are in maybe a tougher roster to get into the starting lineup.
Yeah, that's certainly something to consider. I mean, you mentioned Bivens. Bivens is on Tennessee, who has a very established starting lineup right now. And sometimes it's unfair for these rookies who are really good players who get drafted to a team that's already got quite frankly a championship combination in their starting line. And good on the franchise for trying to keep up that level of play in their second string on their bench. But at the same time, you've got some you mentioned egos before. A lot of these rookies, especially when they're picked within the early numbers of the draft, sometimes they get relegated to the second string, and we don't see anything from them for a couple of years, not because they're not talented, but because they're kind of buried under the weight of other immeasurable talent.
Yeah, and to be fair to the Tennessee franchise, they were at the time they needed some help down at their bench because obviously they brought in River in free agency. I kind of feel like Bivens had a perfect opportunity to start had they not picked up Michael River, two-time champion, finals MVP. You get relegated back to the bench in that situation. We see Clemens not able to convert the N1.
And everything can change in a dime for our lineup, right? Player gets injured, a trade happens that none of the players are expecting, so
Evans with the ball. Dishing to Davenport. Natalie driving to the basket, able to fight between two defenders. A back and forth game we have here now as the East able to chip the lead away and come back, and now they need to actually build a lead here as Mandeville, battling for the rebound, is able to make the second chance opportunity work.
Definitely a display of athleticism on both teams here tonight.
And a big dunk from Clemens as he gets the basket with the in stride. The nice pass there coming through. The Cheetah able just to dunk it down. You know, another player that kind of a top draft pick, but ended up being relegated to the bench thanks to some free agent acquisitions is Tucker Iverson, brought into Queens, kind of pushed him out of that potential starting lineup spot. Natalie, Naito to convert. It's going to be Bambrick dunking it down. Another North Star alumni. We have 4 in this game, as we'll see Beckett bringing it up the court. Tex from beyond the arc. Alaska player unable to make it as Natalie drive to the basket is able to do a little bit of a teardrop finger roll. 6-point game for the East now.
Davenport making it easy look easy on the court here tonight.
Yes, strip there. Another great defensive play coming out from Natalie. It's going to be Blake dancing around the defense in the fast break to dunk it down. Right, Natalie on a team that's undergone a bit of a struggle with the loss of talent. Obviously, talking about River leaving Biloxi and then the retirement of Kim. A lot of pressure thrust upon the white-tailed deer. Especially considering the draft situation with BOV because of their talent. She was picked as the 24th overall pick. You usually don't find yourself in a starting role picked that late in the first round, but making the best of her opportunity on the team.
And definitely proving that Natalie has the chops to play at that level.
And the East with a double-digit lead here. Biggest lead of the game thus far. Now it's going to be how the West answers back as Tex getting it from mid-range, missed the three-point earlier, and there you have it. The East bench has been stepping up. Hopkins trying to alley-oop, not able to convert though. I believe that was to Bivens she was aiming for. Ball almost stripped there.
Hopkins surprisingly quiet this game.
Yeah, the three-point, she's been blocked, I think, twice so far, and that's been the challenge for her, is getting by Dukes in the post. As Mandeville will clean it up and hit the bucket from inside the paint. Yeah, Hopkins the only player from Tallahassee to make the rookie game. As Marshall down low in the post will draw a foul against Dukes, so go to the line for an and one opportunity. See Rav coming back on the floor.
Yeah, West is playing a little aggressive tonight. I don't blame him.
Well, a lot of people are talking about how the East has really stepped up over the past few years, and the West trying to show that, the talent from this year's draft, trying to show that it went to the West. Screen called for. Dishing over to Missouri. Down low to Dukes. Dukes over top, able to convert. Long limbs from the Ferret Otter, able to get the basket there. Hopkins calling for the screen. She's trying to use her speed to her advantage, but the problem with these players not getting a lot of opportunity to play together, little missteps in the play draw up do not leave as many gaps as she's probably used to over in Tallahassee, where they've really worked to play off of her speediness.
Right.
Victorson.
Another nice bucket there for Bivens.
Oh, Victorson, how did you get that over top of Marshall? Marshall was right there, but the Sabertooth Tiger bringing a little windy vibes, dunking it down over the bigger defender. That's going to be a poster somewhere, I can already tell you that. Evans from beyond the arc off the screen, rattles around, but is good.
The big three for the East here, keeping that 9 to 10 point lead.
Yeah, not just that, but breaking back from that, answering back from that big dunk with a bigger shot for a three. And Zuri, the seal, gonna elevate for a dunk.
I don't know how she does that.
I mean, I think her tail was technically still touching the ground at the time she dunked it, but I'm gonna call it a jump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopkins almost stripped there, tried to push it through and intercepted by the West. It's going to be Rav trying to answer with a three for the West themselves, and the Bat is able to get it in transition. Back to a 4-point game here. Shuggy dishing over to Blake. He hit the big three earlier, maybe trying to get open again. Going to hand it over to Hopkins, back to Bivens. Hopkins going to throw a screen. He's going to leave Bivens wide open. Not able to convert. And Astrid going to come down with the ball. And Rav feeling it from beyond the arc, but not able to convert. But Dukes was there anticipating his teammate's early shot in the clock, able to clean it up and get a bucket. And that's that chemistry you're talking about. He knew Rav would feel like taking a three in transition there, so he immediately crashed the board even before the shot went up and was able to box out his opponent. The West, 40 seconds left to go here. 2 or 3 possessions left to go as Astrid's going to try and hit a three. Is able to back to a 1-point game. 10-point deficit wiped away. See if the East can answer at least with one bucket here. If the West has an opportunity to take the lead. As Blake inside the paint, not able to convert, and it will be the West. Final possession of the half unless they go quick here. Zuri. Running the shot, burning the game clock down. Keep an eye on Rav in the corner for three. Is able to convert, and the West will take the lead back before the half ends.
Flying Fox had so much space there.
I mean, you saw Hopkins broke around the screen as fast as she could, and she at least was there at the time. But at her size, she needs to be no more than a half step behind if she wants to have a good chance of interrupting that shot. That's her speed let her at least make noise and be in the line of sight. But Rav, great double screen to get open with the shot, the game clock winding down there. And with that, the West retake the lead just before the half ends. But we've seen the East be able to build up a pretty good lead here previously. So they can't count themselves out yet. As we'll dive into a little bit of the stats, both teams having some standout performances. The Bivens so far was very hot in that first quarter. He's been a little bit quiet, though, in the second quarter. See if he can pick it back up. And Marshall, very consistent, 4 for 4 from the field. Said Hopkins, 4 points total, 3 assists, dishing it around. Clemens, perfect coming off the bench, 6 points. Shuggy, 2 assists and a rebound. Patterson, 3-point specialist, not having really an opportunity to utilize that yet. Collins, 3 assists to go along with his 1 basket. And then Davenport, we talked about her, a big block and then 8 points so far tonight. And jumping on over to the West, who currently have the lead. It's really been Astrid and Mandeville carrying the starting lineup. 14 and 12 points respectively, both with 5 rebounds so far, on their way to a double-double here in the rookie game. And Rav hitting the 2 big threes, 6 points total. And Dukes, can't forget about him. He actually had less playtime than the others, but still 10 points so far. 2 blocks, huge defensive effort coming out from him tonight to go along with those 2 steals. And the other Blario brother, 1 rebound, not a lot of opportunities to get points on the board. And Beckett, only 4 minutes on the floor, and hasn't had too many opportunities to make a major impact. Tex, 1 for 4. Definitely trying to push it from beyond the arc, but not able to convert any of his 3 attempts so far. So looking at how the first half wrapped up, what are you thinking for the second half? What do you want to see from the East?
Well, the rookie challenge is really a stage for these young players to kind of show off a little bit. This is an exhibition game. It's a way to really kind of, I guess, bask in the spotlight of having completed half a season plus and just kind of enjoy themselves. I'm seeing a lot of from both teams. I'm kind of seeing everyone's kind of got their heads a little too much in the game. I'd love to see a little bit more showboating here in the second half, honestly.
Okay, you want some alley-oops. You want some 360 three-point attempts. A trampoline. Would you like a trampoline brought out, too?
I'd love a trampoline, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've heard slam ball might be coming back soon, so...
So why aren't they doing slam ball at the All-Star game? I think that would just be like a great...
Injuries. So many injuries. Please, no. Do you know how dangerous trampolines are? How many poor furs go to the hospital every year because of a trampoline in their backyard?
I'm sure it's fine.
You know what? If the fans want to have... You know what? That's a great opportunity. Fans, next year we're going to have a slam ball court installed. You guys can risk torn ACLs and concussions. You'll get to dunk like an FBA player for once.
Exactly. Just cover the whole court in like a giant trampoline.
Can you imagine if DQ just like jumps up the entire court, everyone gets thrown in the air? That'd just be too unfair. Poor Lance will get shot to the moon.
Right. Hey, save the ISA some money.
God, I mean, don't get Sandra started on that. Wes, quick pass over to Victorson. 3 from beyond the arc is good. I like the fast play. That's actually what I want to see here is a bit of high-tempo offense. I want to see them trying to exploit each other on the lack of defensive cohesion. We saw it there. Astrid hitting it from the left side. Big run for the West so far, and a nice little pass down in the post to Marshall. Able to lay it up and in. Big scoring coming in for the East from the Orca. Missouri trying to lay it up, no good. Mandeville does collect, though, not able to cash the check. Oh, Evans trying to get a little fancy with the footwork. Spin moves, driving to the paint. Asher locks him down, though. Now it's going to be Natalie going against Zuri, and Zuri will get called for the contact. Some substitutions. Natalie, the and one opportunity. Oh, Lord, they put Maria in. I'm about to start calling them by their first names. There's no way I can go in Davenport. I mean, it's bad enough that Lorenzo and Bruno are on the floor at the same time. I can at least ignore the fact that one's in red, one's in blue. I apologize for any colorblind people at home because you're not going to be able to tell who's who.
Well, in the fact that it's N Davenport and M Davenport, it's like...
very close. As we see Maria Davenport getting a basket there.
As one Davenport passes off to the other.
I just hope they don't all end up going to Queens and end up playing with the other Davenport in the league.
Right.
Who is also an M.
Can you imagine?
Oh gosh, the poor Jersey people. I don't even know how you deal with that. As we see there, lead changes 10, ties 9. The East had the biggest lead at 10, but now they find themselves down once again. It's going to be the West. Mads driving to the basket, able to lay it up and in. Both teams shooting well, above 60% here tonight.
Yeah, we'll easily break 100 points on either side here by the end of the evening.
Oh no, the jinx. It's happened. I wasn't going to say it.
Well, I'm not Marcus, so...
No, we'll have to see if that holds true and if they can keep this rapid pace up as Natalie laying it up and in. Rav dishing over to the Dragon. Grindal driving and attacking the basket. Again, another player that we talked about had an opportunity maybe to be a starter, but a lot of off-season acquisitions from Montana kind of pushed him back. I mean, obviously they brought in Callum and Birdie. That really threw off, I think, how their draft plan had gone had they known they were going to get both of them.
For sure. But you also, I mean, you don't know. You know, you have to make plans upon plans and hope one of them works out.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a worse situation if you drafted not for need and then you didn't end up landing your free agent acquisition. You'd be in pretty big trouble. Obviously, here he's shown up both in the rookie game and starting to get hot here tonight. Big block, though. Massive block from Duke. Sent almost out of bounds, but Rav corrals it to Lee. Fast play from the right sideline is good. 3 points from the Dragon. East seeing if they can answer back. That's a unfortunate situation. The three-point game necessarily hasn't been in their favor here as the West has picked it up from beyond the arc. Multiple players hitting threes.
That's one way to increase lead point by point.
Yeah, especially if they're getting left that wide open. But again, in transition, it takes such a regimented mindset of knowing where to cover and who to cover. And you're not going to see that really work out well. As Mads playing with Mandeville, dishing into him. Clemens will get called for the foul. The Cheetah, that's his second now. The Wolf will head to the line for 2 free throws. Potential to extend the lead to 9.
I don't blame Clemens here. I didn't even see the pass until it happened. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Wolf got the better line to the basket. Clemens really needed to be on the inside between him and the basket to force the foul. And, 3 points go the way of the Wolf. So 9 deficit here for the East. And they don't have their three-point shooters really on the floor. You got to keep an eye on Esmeralda. She could stretch it, definitely. But the defense has just been so tight, and Duke's absolutely cleaning up the boards here. Mandeville, quick play, not able to convert.
Well, I mean, we've seen a couple times this game even that a 10-point lead doesn't mean a whole lot.
No, it doesn't. But someone has to start hitting, and that's where right now I think the current set for the East on the floor is the bench. They were very hot in the first half, but they just have not been consistent here as the shot clock. Just going to throw it up to Maria and hope that she can hit something, and not able to.
Not particularly fair there to the white line as had to throw the ball away.
Yeah, whatever they were trying to go plan-wise just never developed, and that was to the detriment. And now we've got a great matchup for Dukes in the post if Raymond will head that way. But no, he just wants to take the three himself. Not a lot of opportunities to shoot, and the ball will go out of bounds last by the East, says the ref. So the West will keep it, and we are going to see substitutions for both.
Almost looked there like a one-on-one matchup for a moment there.
Yeah, and we see immediately Lee being subbed out. I think he saw who was coming in off the floor and wanted to get at least one more shot in before being benched. Beyond the arc, no good. Patterson coming down with the board. And there we go, 3-minute scoring drought. This would be a good time for the East to perhaps call a timeout. Or a quick play. Collins running around the world, finding an open spot underneath the basket.
Good for Hoscut to see that opening and get the ball there.
Yeah, it's not an easy vision to have with all the bodies there. We're going to see a fast play. Hoscut off the glass, no good, but Patterson cleaning up the miss, but not able to convert the second chance. Ball tipped. Trying to pass quickly, but active pause in the post result in the turnover. And now it's going to be Collins with the ball. And ooh, foul from Hendricks there. That's the German Shepherd's second, I believe. Shot clock reset to 14. Manbrick over to Shuggy. Calling for the screen, trying to get a lane to the basket. Not able to, but Esmeralda left wide open thanks to that screen is able to convert. Back within 5 now. Also the screen and able to lay it up and in off the glass is Tex. Two and a half minutes left to go in this third quarter. Collins underneath, double clutches and ends up laying it in from the other side of the basket to make it work there. The East had been on a scoring drought, but suddenly able to find buckets, but the West has not blinked yet, and that's what they really need here is to clamp down on the West's offense if they want to make a comeback. It's been too much text there, driving to the basket on another basket once again. Who do you think needs to step up from the East if they want to really cut this deficit down?
Well, unfortunately, we're not seeing a lot here from Hopkins. I'd love to see her step up, kind of in the second half here. Clemens is starting to heat up. I'd love to see him, kind of make this as a case to maybe be considered to play the starting lineup every once in a while as well.
Yeah, it's going to be Tex. He's been lining it up from the bench, not a lot of minutes here, but able to get it going. And yeah, Hopkins, I think when she's back on the floor, we really need to see her either get alive from beyond the arc or continue to really facilitate, as with Devin Dukes being a main scoring threat for the East along with Marshall. They've been successful in the post, but the West has been successful from beyond the arc, and that is another for Tex, this time from beyond the arc. A 12-point lead now for the West. I really think the East needs to call a timeout here and maybe substitute those starters back in. And Zuri intercepting the ball, active play. Tex is hot right now. The Tambourine, I think, going to take the shot himself, but blocked there.
Yeah, I think it's less a matter of what the East needs to do offensively. I think they really need to get back on their defensive game is really where they're at. Terrega's getting tired. Can't do it, all in one's own. Some of the bench needs to really kind of step up here and start taking some of those blocks.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Zuri very early in the first quarter stepping in, getting the scoring going, but not. I'm trying to facilitate here. Astra not able to convert the basket, though. Maybe one of the Davenport stepping up. We saw Natalie being very active in the post, or in the game with stealing the ball and getting some points off a turnover, but it's really gone the way of the West. Is Zuri going to bully her way into the post? And with 4.7 seconds left, the East probably won't be able to get a good shot off here. Oh, quick play, but no, intercepted. And, ooh, Victorson diving for the ball to make sure she kept possession. Got to be a little careful there. You don't want to get injured in the rookie game.
Absolutely wouldn't be the first time.
Well, that's like when Barnaby Jazz did his dunk in the heels. All I was seeing at every moment was rolled ankle, rolled ankle, rolled ankle. Please, for the love of God, don't roll your ankle. As we do see, it looks like both teams have brought their main starters back out. I think Tex, though, is Hendricks is still in instead of Devin Dukes, giving the Fair Daughter a chance to rest, as Hopkins will come down with the rebound there. See what she's able to do now. And quick dish down to Evans, and that's a great way to come off the bench. Quick play down low to the Blake. Back to 10. But I do want to see her start hitting some threes if she can. That's how they can definitely cut this lead back to single digits if they can't seem to stop the West here. Zuri fading away, not able to convert. Hopkins with the ball on the perimeter. Calling for a screen. Wide open lane to the basket. How about that? using her speed to get down low, using Marshall to get a little bit extra separation there from the defender. Back to single digits. Dickerson down low in the post, no good, and now the East is rallying. Finding a bit of momentum here to start the fourth quarter. And you see substitutions ready to happen there. They want to bring back in Rav for the West. See if the East can cut this lead down anymore. Great defensive effort there by Marshall, able to tap the ball, but not able to stop the bucket from Tex. Tex has been on fire.
Smart move bringing Rav back in here, especially trying to stop this this train the East is starting to push forward.
Yeah, I mean, the defense is clamping down suddenly on the West and back within 6, and thank you. The West really need to call the timeout. Like I said, they need Rav back in. They want to, I think, also bring in Devin Dukes. And the East obviously going to, I think, bring back in Natalie. As both teams, it looks like you did not jinx them, considering they have 10 minutes to break 100, and they're very close.
You know, there's still anything could happen. So
yes, and we do see this. Most of the starters brought back in. Marshall getting the better of Dukes there in the post. It's gonna be a fast break opportunity. Quick play, Natalie. A little too much power though. The ball barely bounced there. With 3 quick passes, found its way underneath the hoop, but Natalie not able to convert there.
Oh dear.
I have not had enough rum coconut drinks served to me to deal with that. Marcus is bad enough, please.
Can we get a drink for
the overworked peacock? Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, great spin move from Blake down low in the post, but defense did not bite. Astrid was able to put up a good defensive effort, but in the end, the blue healer getting the bucket. Both of them putting up over 15 points here tonight for their teams, respectively. Surrey lane to the basket, but Marshall comes flying in from behind the Orca. You can't run from the killer whale.
No.
Blake trying to force it, though, in the opportunity to cut the lead down, not able to convert. Astrid getting a little bit of a pump fake worked through Evans off balance. His paw was still in the air trying to impact the shot, but not able to. The East needs to calm down just a little bit here. Getting the ball down low to Bivens for an and one opportunity. Great pass from Aurora down low in the post, and Bivens to finish up the play. Converting the and one back within 5 here. And here's where I think where the scary part comes in for the East is that the West has some of their best three-point shooters on the floor right now, and they're going to have a hard time dealing with them. Is Mandeville laying it up and in, and that's exactly what happens when you have a three-point shooting team. Defense can't cheat. They can't cheat into the post to help out without leaving their man open on the perimeter. That makes it just so much easier for the players in the post to score. As Blake answers back one of his own, down by 5 still. Close game with under 7.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the court, and there's, you know, all of these are very savvy players. They're gonna take those opportunities when they can.
And Mads able to get around the Orca there, not able to convert the and one, however, so the East going to try and play fast here. Natalie already into the paint, going up for the quick shot. Not the best use of possession, I feel like. I get playing for speed. And here's where the dagger might be coming in. The West hits the 3 in transition. That's from Mads, getting it done in the post and stretching out to beyond the arc.
Yeah, the East is losing time here. They've really got to start picking things up. They want to any chance at all of winning this game.
Yeah, well, now the East is starting to look a little bit more individualistic as Evans driving to the basket once again. It had worked, and a big double paw block from the Orca, able to retain possession. But that was a smothering block there coming in against the Bat.
Victorson able to break through the tide there to get the basket.
Yeah, I mean, if this game were to end now, who would you pick from the West to be your player of the game? I feel like Dukes and Victorson have both made a case for themselves.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're looking at Dukes for defense, but Victorson absolutely carrying the West for points tonight.
Aurora trying to get it done in isolation against Rav, not able to. The Bat going to bring it up the court. I mean, you can even look at Tex coming off the bench. I mean, how many points he put up and how many minutes he played is astronomical. We'll see at the end of the game. I believe he had over double digits in only like 12 minutes. It's Rav able to beat back the Orca, getting a little bit of revenge for the block last possession, battling by himself against Marshall and making the basket count. In the East, have to call timeout. Down by 16. The lead was within 5 just 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, losing 10 points in 90 seconds, not a good way to go.
No, and like I said, it was the Mads hitting the three-pointer and then that down low in the post shot. And then their defense has stepped up. And speaking of, New Balance likes to believe Astrid should be the player of the game, but with 5.5 minutes left to go, there's still plenty of opportunities for players from the West to step up.
Little bit early there.
I mean, she has been excellent. Number 2 overall pick, playing her heart out tonight. The drive to the basket is good. That's Natalie's 15th point. Raf, spin move. Feeling a little bold to go against Marshall a third time. After converting on the second attempt, probably felt like he figured him out, but hard to beat the Orca with that much of a size disadvantage.
It's very true, but the West has a little bit of wiggle room to play around with. Take kind of some of those risky shots right now with a 14-point lead.
Is this when you start bringing out the showboating, perhaps? Now that you feel like your lead might be out of reach?
Oh, I mean, there's always time for showboating, for sure.
Well, in an exhibition game, yes, and Devin's not able to convert that first one. Able to convert the second. I mean, the East aren't out yet. We've seen big leads evaporate before. It just takes a little bit of messy play from one side and the other side hitting a few quick possessions / threes, and Bivens, he got them started in the beginning of the game, and they might need to rely on him here if they want to get back in it. He's able to convert down low in the post. Again, the West, the three-point shooters between Rav, Mads, and Astrid. It's just so difficult. And Mads able to also drive to the basket.
Yeah, I think East right now is looking for any port in a storm, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, they can have a little bit of fun, I guess, to end the game if they want to, Double team against Aurora. Dishing over to Natalie. Aurora had a little bit of an opening there, but no, they're going to try and alley-oop it, but Mandeville, eye on the ball, you could say, able to intercept it, and Astrid in transition. Trying to secure that player of the game.
What is that, 20 points for her?
I believe so. I think 2 players from the West have broken 20, but we'll have to see at the very end of the game. Marshall pushed all the way out. Battling against Dukes, a bit of a shoulder shove there, but able to get the bucket without a whistle called. And those two, talk about even, almost the same number of points, almost the same number of rebounds.
Would you say that they're duking it out?
Oh, God, I need another.
Do does someone need to come and marshal a game for them?
Make it a triple, please. I need a triple shot.
A triple. All right. You know they've really both been the center of this game's performance.
Uh, can the volcano just erupt, please?
Hey, you asked for a triple. What do you want?
Oh my gosh, you're terrible, Christopher.
You know this is post holiday in Hawaii for 4 days, Christopher. So you won't get to see this too often.
In the West, trying to go for an alley-oop, not able to convert it, turn the ball over. Bivens down low in the post, loses it. Dukes comes away with it. Looked like the Panda was about to throw down a massive dunk, but as he went to jump up, the ball wasn't in his paws anymore. And Rav, dodges the Orca in the air. The bat showing a bit of acrobatic excellence there. And you see their turnovers, points off. West, massive difference. The turnovers have favored them heavily.
Absolutely, and Qatar finally showing off. That's what I like to see, especially 2 minutes left in the game, almost 20 points up. Have fun with it.
Yeah, you gotta make it a game. As Blake, the will drive to the basket, step back jumper is able to convert it. And Astrid, almost 30 points. It's very hard to say that she hasn't earned player of the game tonight, especially 1 rebound shy of a double-double. Rav trying to do it himself, not able to convert.
Maybe the East here will give that to her.
Well, considering Astrid, maybe it's her teammates that really needs to be the one to give it to her. Stop trying to rebound the ball. Just let her have it. As Rav able to lay another bucket in. Both teams probably going to make a substitutions just to let their bench play out the final minute should there be a dead ball situation. So Astrid, this might be the last possession you get, an opportunity to get that rebound. But it's going to be an alley-oop to Bivens. And Bivens breaking 20 points here.
You hear the basket rattle throughout the stadium.
Yeah, don't worry. It's been DQ certified.
That's right. You know, I hear they get him to just come in and stress test every basket now.
Yeah, I mean, they drop him from like a 3-foot height, and he has to not break the hoop.
Oh, that's where the trampoline comes in.
Yeah. Why do you think there's like a 1-inch divot underneath every basket in the FBA? They have to put concrete blocks down there to support that extra spot on the floor where all these furs come landing after their dunks. And the final possession will be wrapping up shortly. The West will come out on top. I believe they also won last year, if I remember correctly. Adds just inside the three-point line. Will hit another shot. Even though he wasn't a starter, he got to finish out the game most of the fourth quarter. Shuggy. Dish down low to Maria. Laying it up and in. And the West should just hold the ball here. I mean, they could go for an extra shot, but I think at this point, both teams are happy to be done with the game. They've had a good opportunity to show off a bit for the fans, represent their teams, and make a little bit of a name for themselves. Get the fans considering them for next year for the All-Star game. And looking at the stats, Evans finished with 19 points, 7 assists. Marshall, double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Bivens, 20 points total, 2 rebounds. Davenport, Natalie, 15 points, 3 assists, and a steal. Hopkins, 8 assists, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 for 5. Shuggy, 6 points, 6 assists, 3 for 8. Clemens, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Patterson, 5 rebounds, 4 points, and a stat in assist, steal, and block. Lorenz, 1 point, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. Maria, coming deep off the bench, was able to put up 12 points in 12 minutes, and a block as well to go along with that. Collins, 6 points, 3 assists, and a steal, 3 for 6 from the field. Bambrick, 2 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist as well. And then jumping on over to the West, Victorson lit up the stat board, 27 points total, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Mandeville, almost a double-double himself. Um, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Duke, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 blocks. A lot of defense, as you can see from these 3 players, accounting for 9 steals alone. Rav hitting 7 for 12, 16 points total, 6 assists. Zuri, 12 points, 6 assists. Mad, 17 points, 9 assists. A lot of assists coming out from the West as well. A lot of passes leading to immediate shots there. Hendricks, 6 rebounds, 5 points. Bruno, 1 rebound. Lee, 1 for 4 from the field, a block, and 3 points total. Tex, 13 points in only 11 minutes, 6 for 11. A lot of scoring coming out from the Tamarin. Snowfall, 2 points, and Beckett did have a lot of opportunities to stand out. But as we see, the West comes away the victor here tonight.
Yeah, very close game. Very, very, very exciting game. Probably one of the highest rookie challenges, scoring wise, that we've seen in quite some time. I'm actually informed that last year the East won almost by exactly the same number of points. So the West coming back and reclaiming that title. Good for you folks. But I think you're absolutely right with the synergy that the West had, especially when people started getting tired, they start making sloppy plays. Being able to lean on that muscle memory and make those plays happen was critical for the West this year.
Yeah, big kudos to both teams. Obviously, look at the field goal percentage, both shooting above 58%. Great showing tonight for both of them. Uh, Honestly, I'm not disappointed in either team. I feel like the East showed a lot of grit, and it just came down in the end that some of the turnovers started to slip in, and they weren't able to make up for it. As you saw, the points off turnovers really favored the West tonight, and that was a big
Yeah, for
difference.
sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I mean, uh, once again, congratulations to Astrid, hands down player of the game by the end of it. But not alone in standing out here tonight. A lot of players, not one person I feel like really uh, took the spotlight from either team. I feel like there was a lot of good passing, a lot of good distributing the ball across the teams.
Yeah, and I'm glad that like we see a lot of that in these exhibition games. I do feel like even the deep reserves got some good playtime and some ability to kind of show off their skills. Looking at Maria Davenport here and Tex Adriano, both of them not too many minutes on the court, but still showing that even the reserves here can play ball with everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we're going to have the All Stars West and East faced off. Hopefully, it'll be just as exciting. Hopefully, the veteran experience will lend to even more showboating with some high flying dunks, and maybe we'll see some centers decide to take half court threes just to see if they can hit the basket.
Well, I know that a couple of them have been working on that. Scooney known for his his 3-point lob. Jake Turner, both of them being able to lob from 3/4 of from the opposing basket. Just hitting 100% every time. So.
Yep, 100%. Uh, you kill me with your jokes, and that's why I'm having to drink tonight.
All right. Well, I'll buy the first round. How's that?
It's a triple.
I don't care.
Well, thank you all once again for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for the next battle between the All Stars, West versus East. Can the West claim a sweep here tonight, tomorrow night, or will the East answer back? Thank you once again, Christopher, for joining me.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, and thanks for bringing me to Hawaii.
Yeah, no, you love the all expense paid trip.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.